Hello, my online friends. My name is Christina Asha, student number 22B5050410002 from 4B Management Logistics class. Now I will explain about the procedure of export and import activities in Indonesia. So, international trade is the exchange of goods and services between countries. It can include importing goods into a country or exporting goods from a country. Countries involved in international economic transactions aim to meet domestic needs and optimize the utilization of available resources. International trade can be conducted by various parties, ranging from individuals, companies, to governments. According to the regulation of the Minister Trade Republic of Indonesia number 23 of 2022 concerning and the adjustment of goods classification subject to export and import prohibition and restriction, provision based on the goods classification system chapter 1. Export is activity of pull out the goods from the custom area, and import is the activity of pull in the goods into the custom area. The custom area referred to is the area that falls with the Executive Economic Zone or the EEZ in Indonesia, such as land, water, and air. First, I will discuss the export process in Indonesia. The export process generally begins with an offer from one party accompanied by the agreement of the other party through the sales contract process. So, what is the sales contract process? Sales contract is a document of agreement between the exporter and importer that is continuation of the purchase order. Sales contract contains the payment terms for the exporter goods such as price, quality, quantity, method of transportation, insurance payment, and so on. This document is required by the importer when filling out the letter of credit application to the bank. Here is the process of creating a sales contract. Number 1. Exporter promote the commodities to be exported through promotional media or through agency or institute related to export promotion activities. Number 2. The importer send a letter to inquire the exporter, which contains a description of the goods, quality, price, and delivery time. Number 3 is offer-sheet. The exporter will send an offer-sheet in response to the letter of inquiry sent by the importer. The offer sheet contains information regarding the description of the good, quality, price, and delivery time, along with the payment terms and the delivery of sample or brochure. Number 4, order sheet. Order sheet is a letter as the form approval to the exporter, usually also referred to as a purchase order. Number 5, sales contract. The exporter will prepare the sales contract accompanied by a force majeure clause and an expansion clause. This letter will be signed by the exporter and sent in 2 copies to the importer. Number 6, sales confirmation. If the importer agrees, the sales sent by the exporter will be signed by the importer as sales confirmation. Meanwhile, another copy of the sales contract will be kept by the importer. The next export process is the letter of credit process. A letter of credit is a financial document issued by a bank at the request of the buyer or importer that provides a payment guarantee to the seller or exporter, as long as the term and conditions stated in the letter of credit are met. In letter of credit opening process, there are three stages. That is, number one, opening of foreign exchange bank or opening bank, conducted by the importer to make payment to the exporter according to the previous process, the sales contract process. Number two, the foreign exchange bank will approve the importer request and will open a letter of credit through the bank network in the importer's area, commonly referred of as the advising bank. Meanwhile, the letter of credit confirmation as a written affirmation will be forwarded from the opening bank to the advising bank to be delivered to the exporter. Number three, the exporter document, the importer's documents will later be checked for legality through the advising bank. If everything is in order, the advising bank will issue a letter of credit as a guarantee of the product to be shipped. The third process in export is cargo shipment process. In this process, the exporter must send a product to the country that has been approved with the importer. In cargo shipment process, there are three stages. That is, number one, the exporter make a shipment booking with the shipping company in accordance with the agreement in the sales contract stage. Number two, exporter handle the pemberitahuan ekspor barang or PAB letter. It's just like export goods notification with custom and make export tax payment to obtain the harmonized system code or HS code, which function of commodity supervision during the export or import in terms of statistic, tariff, and rules of origin. Harmonized system code also function as a classification of goods that have been authorized for export or import. And number three, the shipping proof will be sent to the advising bank to be given to the importer after all the export product have been loaded onto the cargo ship. After the importer makes the payment through the advising bank, the document will be used for the collection of goods upon arrival. And the final process in export is the shipping document negotiation process. When the importer has received the goods, the exporter will go through the following steps to collect the shipping payment. That is, number one, after receiving the bill of lading from the shipping company, the exporter will prepare all the document lists and the letter of credit and submit them to the advising bank. Number two, the advising bank will check the completeness and accuracy of the shipping documents sent by the exporter. If they complete the letter of credit, the advising bank will make a payment to the exporter. Number three, the advising bank will send a shipping document to the opening bank to obtain the reimbursement for the payment made by advising bank. Number four, the opening bank will check the completeness and accuracy of the shipping documents provided, and if they match the letter of credit, the opening bank will provide reimbursement to the negotiation bank. So the opening bank informs the importer of the receipt of the shipping documents. The importer will then complete the payment of the shipping document, which will be used to collect the ordered goods from the shipping agent of the local custom. Now it's time for me to explain the import process. In Indonesia, import activities are supervised by Badan Pengawas Fasilitas Pabean, or commonly known as Custom. Here are the stages of the import procedure. Number 1, documents collection. At this stage, there is usually the collection of important documents related to the export activity that will be carried out, such as agreement with the relevant foreign suppliers and original import documents. All the prepared documents must be documents that have been certified by customs. Number 2, payment of custom duties and import taxes. Importer must make payment of import duty and import tax in accordance with the regulation of the Minister of Finance. The tariff imposed with the assessed based on the import value and the variety of goods to be imported. Payment will be made through banks that cooperate with the government. Number 3, pemberitahuan impor barang, or PIB, is just like import goods notifier. After making the payment, the importer needs to inform the custom about the ongoing import of goods so that the imported goods can be released from the custom area or other place, treat the same as the temporary storage place or TPS. From the process to proceeds, importers are required to have a NIC or known-is number induk kependudukan, like population identification number, PIB letter, and custom supporting documents like invoice, packing list, airway bill, delivery order, and other required documents. Next, there is the establishment of import lanes, which aim to improve efficiency and oversight of goods entering the country. There are 4 import lanes, that is, number 1, red lane. The red lane is the supervision and service for the release of import goods accompanied by document examination and physical inspection of the goods before the insurance or Surat Persetujuan Pengeluaran Barang (SPPB) or goods release approval letter. This lane is usually used for new imports, high-risk importers, and certain items such as imported goods. Example, if a new company imports machinery from abroad, the goods will go through the red lane to ensure compliance with regulation. Number 2, yellow lane. The yellow lane is a lane that only requires documents inspection without physical inspection. However, the lane has been removed since 2022 or dropped in import process. Number 3 is green lane. The green lane is a lane that allows the release of goods without physical inspection, only requiring document certification after the publication of the SPPB. This lane is used to importers with medium risk who import low-risk goods. The next is Jalur Mitra Utama, or MITA, an Authorized Economic Operator, or EAO. This line is priority lines given by government through the Director Jenderal Bea Cukai, or DJBC, to import with goods quality as determined by the Director of Customs Technical Affairs, where in this lane, physical inspection and document inspection are not required. And the last 2 stages in the import process are number 5, Surat Persetujuan Pengeluaran Barang, or SPPB. SPPB is an official permit approved by a custom regarding the ongoing import process. With this letter, the approved imported goods can enter the custom territory. Number 6. Import goods carriage. Goods that have received a SPPB can be transported by the concerned party using land transportation such as trucks, buses, or cars. So, the conclusion is emphasizes the significance of understanding the export and import process in Indonesia, which are essential for facilitating international trade. The regulation and supervision by custom authorities play a critical role in ensuring compliance with national laws and standards. Furthermore, in my explanation underline, the effective management of this process not only optimize resource utilization, but also enhance the country economic growth through international trade engagement. Overall, a true comprehension of this procedure is a vital stakeholder involved in export and import activity to navigate the complexities of global commerce successfully. So, thank you for you guys' attention. I hope you get the benefit, and big thanks to the article in this link. This link is source of my explanation today. So goodbye.